Welcome to Friday Vibes. No scripts, just chat. We talk all things food and beverage, and so much more. Feel our vibe and search for Friday Vibes on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And make sure to give us a 5-star review. Now your hosts, me, Alex Bear with Genius Juice, and Wade Yeti. What's up? What's up? Welcome to episode 42 of Friday Vibes. No scripts, just chat. I missed you, Wade. I missed everyone. I missed you the most. It's good to be back.
Miss you too. And it's good to have you back because I don't have that pressure of pushing buttons and all that stuff that goes with running the show. Not that I didn't appreciate you before. I'm more appreciative of you now because I can just sit here and look beautiful and chat and not have to do all those other things. But we had fun last week with Ari, but we did miss you. So it's good to have you back.
Yeah, for sure. And I did watch the episode from the hospital and explain for those that don't know. Most do know. We had a beautiful baby boy, and I'm going to be posting a beautiful picture of him on LinkedIn sometime next week. I just got to pace myself a little bit before I make it a public announcement. And it was, I can go on and on, but I know we only have an hour here and we're bringing on a guest, but very emotional, gratifying experience. Really hard to describe seeing a baby boy, your baby born, and then seeing them for the first time and hearing them for the first time. And it was, we were in the hospital for 4 or 5 days. My voice is a little scraggly and worn out just from not getting a lot of sleep. All the parents out there know exactly what I'm talking about. And now our baby boy, his name is Aaron Harrison Bear. It's his full name. Or you can call him Baby Bear for short. He is resting in the bassinet in the next room. So yeah, we're all full of love. We're blessed and happy to have a healthy baby boy. So thank you to everyone for the texts, for the messages, for all the support. And thank you so much.
Yep. And congratulations again, buddy.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, on to, and there'll be many more updates as we keep going about the baby. So we have a special guest here. I met him through the phones. I guess that's not technically meeting. And we just connected on LinkedIn. We've had several conversations. And this guy has an amazing product, which is chlorophyll water. And I'm going to do a little intro music here. Our guest, Matt Levine with Chlorophyll water. How you doing, Matt?
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Welcome, Matt.
Yeah,
well,
congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm going to do my best to stay awake, not because I'm not entertained and wanting to be here, just from a lack of sleep. So I'll do my best here.
Well, at least we got you some chlorophyll water, so you'll stay hydrated. There we go.
And actually, I'm going to try this for the first time. I've already pre-opened it just to make it easier. But here's the label. It says chlorophyll water, enhanced purified mountain spring water beverage with vitamins, oxygen, energy, detox, antioxidant. And one thing too is, are you allowed to put it on here that it's really good for your skin, or is that a claim, Matt?
That's a claim. I mean, if you Google chlorophyll skincare, a lot of like people that drink it or use chlorophyll, they basically have a lot of skin benefits. But yeah, we don't put that on the label.
Got it. Well, it shows already, right? Because of my beautiful skin. So let me.
You're glowing.
You're glowing through the camera here.
Let me try it out here. Wow. It's like minty, a little lemony, refreshing, very refreshing and fresh. It just tastes really fresh. So it's good, man. I like the packaging too. It's cool.
Thank you. This is pretty cool too. If you notice on the side of the bottle, we're the first ever bottled water in the US to pass Clean Label Project certification.
Oh, nice.
So we just got that, so all of our new bottles have that labeling. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're going to have plenty of time to talk about your backstory, how you got into it, where you're from, where you're at with the business. We just want to take a little pause and reset the room. This is Friday Vibes, episode 42, special guest Matt Levine with Chlorophyll Water. If you're just logging on, I'm going to read out some comments. What we do, Matt, is there's these comments that come in. We shout people out. They're going to have questions for you. Now, if you have questions for Matt about how he started the company, about his product, about where he wants to take it and go with it, this is your format. This is your time to do that. So just some comments here. I'm going to go to the very top. Of course, right. Kenny's usually the first to the party. Happy Aloha Friday, everyone. We got Kenny from Foodland. That'd be a great account for you. So for Chlorophyll Water out in Hawaii. Dima Mararu with Guru Energy. Happy Friday.
Nice.
Malingo. Hello, guys. Can't stick around long today. Happy Friday. And shout out to Matt, who is Brand Jack Remember. Okay, that's cool.
Nice.
We'll talk more about that.
Yeah, love the team over there.
Some congrats here from Tom, Dima, Gavin. Gavin was texting me while we were in the hospital. There's Blackbird. Wade's got the Blackbird shirt on. Gavin, thanks for the package. You sent the pizza, you sent the wings, you sent me a couple more shirts. We got to get a baby shirt. If you have a baby Blackbird shirt, just
like a onesie or something, don't you? Like yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, Gavin wears adult onesies. There must be a baby onesie, right?
Absolutely.
Can you imagine at a trade show? And
I'm trying not to, but
yeah, we might just end the show right here just from that. We lost everyone. A couple others. Ginny, right? Ginny, congratulations, your wife. Thank you so much. All right, let's get to the comments. Oliver Cole, Chlorophyll's taking over. And then we got Susan, congrats. So I want to go straight into your story. For those that don't know, you're a newer brand, but it's picking up quickly. And then this whole chlorophyll thing is happening on TikTok and Instagram. So tell us more, like, how'd you get into it? Why chlorophyll? I know you've told me this, but tell the viewers here about you.
Well, I'll kind of give the quick little elevator pitch. I'm from New York, born in Brooklyn. I used to own restaurants, basically plant forward restaurants in Manhattan. And one day I decided to just give up coffee. So no offense to any of the coffee brands out there or people that sell coffee. Coffee's great. But me personally, I just decided to give it up. And my executive chef at one of my restaurants was like, try liquid chlorophyll. So I realized I didn't want necessarily caffeine. I wanted oxygen. So I started putting liquid chlorophyll into my morning water. Did that for about a year. Started giving guests at my restaurants still sparkling or water infused with chlorophyll. Next thing I know, the entire restaurant's drinking green water. And I'm like, well, why has no one created this? So I go to chlorophyllwater.com, chlorophyll water on Instagram. And I just, go on this journey to create, chlorophyll water. No idea what I'm doing, kind of just freestyling it all, like the naiveness of starting a new business. Mm-hmm. But it's been fun. It's been, I've always been into health and wellness. Own a couple juice bars, vegan cafes in Tulum, Mexico as well. And yeah, just health and wellness is a big part of my life. And chlorophyll, the benefits of chlorophyll that I saw personally, was great. So I started implementing it into my life, saw the difference in me, saw my energy levels pick up as far as being more oxygenated. And then I just started reading about it, just doing my due diligence on the benefits. And just started traveling from then across the country to find really clean, pure water. Got it made. Then from there, I was like, okay, I got it made. Now what? I just started traveling around Brooklyn with my bicycle, a backpack full of chlorophyll waters, and just started selling yoga studios. And we became pretty popular in the yoga community. And then from there, kind of this was in late 2009, early 2020 was when we really launched to businesses. Before that, we launched online just to kind of test and product seed and stuff like that. And then right before the pandemic is when we launched in store. And that's kind of the quick little elevator pitch on the brand. Feel free if you guys have questions or.
So Matt, what now? Appreciate the backstory. It's fascinating. So now, when you look at your business, what is your primary business still online? Is it retail? How does your portfolio look?
So right now it's kind of like again, I didn't know anyone coming into this business. I had my restaurants. I also ran the food and beverage at the W hotels. So I saw it from I was the one ordering the products. I was the one bringing it in. So I kind of, when we first launched, we wanted to rely on D2C. We just invested into a lot of SEO, and that was great. But then the customers wanted to see it in stores. So that's kind of beyond the yoga studio. So right now, we're nationwide in Sprouts, we're nationwide, Alo Yoga, Urban Outfitters, regionally GNC. On the West Coast, we're in Irwan, Bristol Farms, Lazy Acres, Lassen's, Harmon's. On the East Coast, Whole Foods. I'm sure I'm forgetting some great accounts, but yeah, that's kind of, a quick little, probably in about 2,500 stores now. Just started, a lot of it's been through LinkedIn, to be honest with you. A lot of we did our first trade show, Expo East, this couple months ago, which was great. We're going to be out at Expo West. But yeah, just kind of learning the business and getting it out there. And it's been fun. It's been a fun ride. Where we are with UNFI, we're with KE, and then we have regional DSDs. Like I'm in Florida right now. I'm in Miami, and we're in all the Pura Vidas here. It's one of our big accounts. So yeah, it's been a fun launching Greenwise, Publix, launching in the UK as well, in probably Q1 of next year. So it's been a fun little journey. Again, no idea what I'm doing, but just kind of freestyling it all.
Your target consumer, if they're not drinking chlorophyll, what are they drinking?
We merchandise in the water aisle, in the grab and go cooler. So we're mostly positioned next to your Mountain Valleys, your Fijis, your Voss waters. We are, I've been seeing us lately next to Lemon Perfect a lot, as well. So that's kind of where we're situated, and merchandise, but in the we're a water, and with chlorophyll, and then each bottle is fortified with additional vitamin A, B12, C, and D, and then a little organic lemon juice and natural spearmint.
Yeah, one thing that really pops out to me is the simplicity of the packaging, and also the fact that it's green. Like it just really pops off the shelf by telling you there's something in here. This is not just plain water. And I think like the education is getting there now on what chlorophyll actually is doing for your body, inside and out. But I think just, when I see you on, like when I say your brand on Instagram or TikTok, you have women going into yoga studios, and they're drinking the bottle, and you do a great job on these social media videos. It seems to be, it looks like a very premium product because of the packaging and the color. And I think there's a popular thing going on with water now where you want to show what's inside, just like Fiji has been doing for a long time. Like, what is inside, and then people are probably wondering, why is it green? And it kind of piques their interest. So are you seeing, like, when you talk to consumers, they see what's and they see it being green, are they like confused at first? Like, what's a person's initial reaction when they see like this green colored water on the shelf? It might be weird to some.
So that's a great question. When I launched it, I didn't expect this, but when it's merchandise in the grab and go cooler, it kind of just glows at you. Like it's just like when it's backlit, it just glows. And it's funny, when I was kind of establishing the formulation, when I make my liquid chlorophyll, it's super dark. But when I was doing the coloring, how much chlorophyll to put in there, it was like we didn't want it too dark to scare people. We didn't want it too light to look like swamp water, so to speak. We wanted to make it approachable, and green just inherently is, health and wealth. So yeah, when you say premium, that's kind of something that pops in people's minds. But yeah, I don't necessarily find that people are scared. The beauty about the product is that people they use the word actually. They're like, oh, it actually tastes good, because they think it's going to taste like grass. That initial first taste. And yeah, chlorophyll is I think we're in the second inning of, chlorophyll and education, and we all learn about it in science class, but every year there's different trends. One year it'll be wheatgrass, one year it'll be kale juice, one year it'll be celery juice, one year it'll be matcha, one year it'll be CBD, and the common denominator between them all is chlorophyll. It's literally what makes everything I just mentioned green. So, as these trends come and go, I'm hoping that chlorophyll just stays consistent. because again, it's a keyword that we all learn about, and we all have that kind of understanding of what it does to plants. And now we're learning about what it does in the human body.
I wanted to turn it over to Wade, the Blackbird man here. Another plug. So that's what we do on the show all the time, Matt. We're just plugging the crap out of all these brands.
I love it. I love it.
Especially good brands, and Gavin, the brand, great. So we're going to be plugging the hell out of it. No, seriously, we love you, Gavin. We give him shit on every single episode. So turning it to you, Wade, on what you're seeing at the retail level, at center store, at the trends, looking at all the data. It seems like when I look on social media, for chlorophyll water, especially for Matt's brand, he's in some of the bigger guys like the Sprouts, but in a lot of specialty, from what I can tell, the Lazy's, the Bristols, also a lot of yoga studios. When do you see this, or is it already kind of hitting where consumers are requesting this at store level in certain retailers, let's say larger retailers on the East Coast? What's kind of what have you seen from the ground level, or from the store level, I should say?
Well, I always preface what I'm about to say with my role, because my role right now is different than a year ago. As far as I probably talking to Matt personally a year ago, but now it takes some time for me to gauge the pulse, and I let my team do the talking, and I trust them implicitly. So it's a little different, but it's interesting because the East Coast, obviously, in my opinion, and that's what it is. The West Coast is where trends start, right? I mean, there's no secret. That's where they start, and then you see them trickle in the hot pockets here in New York and New England, and probably Miami is a good one that Matt said. So you don't see. It's not LA, San Fran, and Southern California in general, right? You're spread out, right? You've got cities, but it's like when you're in California, you're just in this hotbed of activity and trends, and there's all these people, your influencers and all those things. So I haven't seen a lot of chlorophyll type things over here. To Matt's point, obviously he has some distribution over here, and is growing it over here. But I think, and Matt, you can chime in as well. I feel like more than likely you're targeting the East Coast specifically in those regions I mentioned, and to make sure that you're hitting those areas that I'm talking about, like where they're ready for your product, as opposed to and I don't want to pick on any given state, but like the general Midwest, right? I mean, they're probably not your target consumer yet. They're probably on your radar, but right now you've got California, you've got Miami, you've got New York, you've got New England. Tell us about your strategy as you move over on this side of the country.
So the East Coast is where, basically a brand, to me, it's when you're building a brand, it's like building a house. You really need a strong foundation. And the foundation in every market are the key accounts, are those accounts that are willing to, try new products. So if we were to sell everywhere, we've said no to a lot of accounts that we didn't maybe think it was the right fit at the time. Will it be in the future? For sure. On the East Coast, that's where we were born. That's where our footprint started, beyond the Whole Foods. We're in the City Acres, Food Cellar, all of those type of accounts. Midwest, we have a strong presence, the Plum Market, Standard, Westbournes, and then a lot of the specialty like the Nomads, and places like that. It's what we did was we identified the influential accounts, the A accounts, the top tier accounts in every market, and that's kind of where we sold into. We've been fortunate too, when we launched, a lot of the traffic was inbound, because of the press that we did in the beginning, sending it to the right people and featured in Vogue and Vanity Fair and these type of things. And it garnered a lot of, inbound range me interest, stuff like that to help launch. So eventually we're in Homeland in Oklahoma. We're in a lot of, different accounts across the country. If someone right now, it's just about building that house. and having that strong foundation and growing it from there. But yeah, plant-based living and living a plant-based lifestyle is just going to continue to grow. And chlorophyll is literally the foundation of plants. It's the foundation of living a plant-based lifestyle. So yeah, I think that, we didn't go in with a master strategy, per se. And I'm not big into, putting together big plans strategically. Yeah. But because you can never really predict the future, all you can do is you have a product, and I'm not in the store selling it. The product needs to sell itself once it's on the shelf. And we've been really fortunate that once it's on the shelf, it's selling. And the thing with the East Coast, that was, the East Coast, you really only we didn't penetrate it too much in the beginning, just for the summertime and launch. And then we went out West, with a lot of the Erewhon type accounts because of, water sales. You really only get a few months of water sales. But what we're finding out now is that chlorophyll water is actually staying on the shelf in, for example, Whole Foods. When they kick out all the waters out of the grab and go and put the eggnogs, they're keeping chlorophyll water in there because of the immunity, the vitamins that we add for winter. And I didn't anticipate that when we launched, having the vitamins in there for winter immunity. Or, you Google chlorophyll weight loss, chlorophyll detox. So we're getting a New Year's resolution push after. So that's helping a lot of it stay in the grab and go cooler, 6 months out of the year, another 6 months versus just in the summer and spring, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So one SKU.
One SKU. One just my philosophy is just, jack of all trades, master of none. Just really, really focusing on this one, getting it right, getting it out there. But slow and steady. Yes, we're growing, but we're growing at a manageable pace. And I'm in this for the long haul. And I'm not trying to, be everywhere all at once. It's about, like what we were saying, it's about getting into the key accounts, showing that you could sell there, having great store velocity, growing from there, and then building up the demand from there.
Right.
And that's kind of how we're approaching it, is a just more of a calculated, okay, we'll take our time. And, we're just starting to do the category reviews. We've been really fortunate that a lot of the accounts we got in, there was interest, or it was good timing and whatnot. But now we're starting to, now I'm learning. Again, when I first launched this, I didn't know what a BOGO was. I didn't know what a free fill was. I didn't know what a category review was. So, now we're just kind of learning it all. And I think, the naive part of the business we're over with. Okay, now it's time to kind of like spread the wings a little. We've got our proof of concept. We've got our sales velocity. I'm big into data. We have all our data. We have all of our retail analytics, and really just growing from there. And you brought up something before. It's just making sure the consumer knows what it is, and again, the worst scenario for us to be with getting into stores that are not selling. And we don't want to be in that position, so the timing is right when the timing is right.
Yeah.
Makes
And
sense.
patience, I think, is a huge part of the game. And, I've been very public about this. I even did a post, not to plug myself too much, but I will, because it's an opportunity, right? Is that I did a post about 4 days ago, or 3 or 4 days ago, about Publix. We went into Publix. You mentioned Greenwise. We went into Greenwise. We did really good there. Then Genius Juice went into Publix, where you went from, Greenwise, I think, is like 7 stores or 8 stores, something like that, Matt. I can't remember. And then we went to Publix. We hop skipped to Publix because Publix owns Greenwise, and we went to 550 stores in Florida. And ultimately, we did not succeed. The price was too high. But I think, the problem was we were pushing too hard. We were trying to get to as many stores as possible versus just doubling down on the stores that you're in and proving out velocity. So I think and that was the biggest post I've ever done on LinkedIn. It's gotten over 100,000 impressions, which is insane. I've never gotten that much ever on LinkedIn. I could say that I went to Mars. I probably wouldn't get that many. So the main thing I think that you're looking at is, you got a product that's trending. you have a product that's also high priced compared to what else is on the shelf. And that's what's also very interesting about your story and about the velocities, Matt, that you're seeing is one SKU, which is limited presence. You have to really fight to get extra, expansion or secondaries or promotions. And you have a high price, right? You're $4.99 or $5.99, I believe, from what I saw. So how are you like, what is a story you're telling to a consumer to say, spend $3 to $4 more on our product versus not another functional water or a vitamin water? I mean, how are you getting that value across for them to buy yours?
Yeah, and that's a good. I mean, I think your baby post is going to get a lot more than that. Your baby post is going to get a couple 100,000.
Yeah, that's why I'm pacing myself out. I don't want to back-to-back six-figure posts.
Yeah,
I want to wait a little bit of time. Yeah.
No, so that's kind of so we're $4.99, but we're obviously more than a water, but we're less than Harmless Harvest or a juice or a green juice, a green smoothie. So I think the consumer is used to paying, for anything healthy, a green smoothie, or they're used to paying, or a juice. A lot of the smaller juices are a lot double the price of ours. And ours actually has vitamin A, B12, C, D, chlorophyll, and it's good quality water. So I think that we haven't had the biggest issue that I've personally had with price is making sure that it stays at the $4.99, and a lot of the retailers are charging it for $5.99. Like Urban Outfitters is at $6.99, and it's selling. It's selling, but it's $4.99 is the sweet spot I want to stay at, and that's kind of what I'm learning now. Is like, okay, how do I stay in that $4.99, and how do we control kind of the pricing structure there? But we haven't had any pushback on the price because I think the consumer, they're used to paying, $8 for a Harmless Harvest when it launched, or, like a kombucha, a $12 CBD drink now, or it's so where our price is comparable. Yes, it's more than a water for sure. It's a couple dollar more than a water, but it's less than, everything else.
Yeah, I think, I said it like a while ago, or I think 15 minutes ago, which is your packaging. Like packaging is so important. The look of it, the feel of it, and yours has a premiumness to it. You said it like very well, where like you made it not too dark, but not too light, right in the middle. And you have the light shining through, it's being backlit or the store lights coming down on it, and it glows and it shines. And I definitely see that. So I think you've done a great job on the branding side, for sure. Just wanted to reset the room because there's a lot of comments that are coming in, a lot of questions for you, Matt. So let me get to that right now. I got to scroll up a lot of ways.
So there's one I can help you with that if you want me to. Now that I have I still have a spare key. I don't have the key. I have a spare key, Alex.
Yeah. Well, it's like one of those.
I wanted to show this one from Gavin.
Yeah. You see, it's pretty cool that you can actually.
I can help you now.
I
can actually help you, Alex. You don't have to do it all yourself. Yes.
Why did I not do this before? It's like, it's like the wheel is on the left side. Last week, the wheel was on the right side. You were in the UK.
And now we have two wheels. We have two wheels. Yeah. So Matt,
it's a full wheel.
Yeah, Matt Gavin is with Blackbird Foods, but formerly he was the VP at Earth Bear.
Yes.
And so,
Gavin.
Yeah. So he's asking about turns, critical retailers on a year-over-year basis. And he said kind of like what I not alluded to, but kind of mentioned, his demographic, their demographic, he didn't feel was ready for that style when you talked in 2020. But year-over-year, critical retailers, how do things look?
Yeah, so we're moving, anywhere from, 13 to 18 bottles per week, at critical retailers. We have some, a lot of yoga studios move 20 cases a week. We're, as far as year over year movement, we're up, from 2000, about 225% each year. So 225, then up another 225. So we're doubling up, as far as the retail goes. So it's definitely improving. I think that, Gavin was one of the first people I reached out to. I've met a lot of people on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has been how I kind of, touch base with a lot of people. It's been an awesome resource. So it's kind of how I got my foot into this business. So yeah, we've definitely seen some great velocity and an increase in sales and turns definitely in on premise.
Cool. Awesome.
Good.
Awesome. Yeah. And I definitely say, like, one thing you don't have to really worry about is, right away whether your product works or not just by the velocity on your single SKU. You know what I mean? Versus having 3 or 4. Because a lot of brands, I just like to point this out for the entrepreneurs and people watching that are launching a brand, or maybe you're just starting out, you're a couple steps behind Matt, and you want to get to that next level where Matt is that when you release 4 SKUs or 3 SKUs, if you have 1 or 2 dogs and one good one, a lot of buyers, and Wade, I know you did this at Jimbo's, and it's pretty standard. You want to see performance across the line. You don't want to just, have 5 SKUs and only 1 is doing well, right? Then you end up cutting everything, right?
Right.
So a lot of buyers and purchasing managers, they're looking at the average that it's doing across the SKUs. So I think, like, this is really smart because, Matt, Genius Juice, we were a single SKU for 4 years. So it's either like, right away whether the product's going to work or not, if that one SKU works or not. And then from there, right, if you see a really high performing retailer, right, you can then start putting in new SKUs into that store. And I could see some good innovations with your chlorophyll water. I could see a multi-serve coming into play. I could see that happening. I can see, I don't know. I mean, anything you can kind of, pop the trunk and pop the hood and tell us more about what some other innovations you're thinking of for your brand.
Yeah, there's definitely some ideas that are floating around, but to be honest with you, I'm just focused on the one SKU now. Like really just, making this the best it could be and making it just years ago. My kind of past life, I worked with when I was in the food and beverage in the restaurant space, and I used to have before the restaurants, bars and lounges, and I worked closely with Red Bull. And Red Bull, I haven't. It's not on my in my fridge now, but over working with them for years, their business model of just having that one SKU for so many years, focusing on that, and taught me it taught me a lot, working with them and how, the marketing that they did, the advertising that they did, if someone can't go out and buy it, then they're not, activating in that city. Like there was just a lot of stuff that I learned while, working with them, just on a food and beverage level, where I really just see chlorophyll water being one SKU for the foreseeable future. Eventually, maybe, add some different, things. I'm not ruling it out, but right now it's kind of, that jack of all trades, master of none mentality. And just kind of really just making this the best it could be. And then kind of just growing from there. And seeing where it goes, but I'm not ruling anything out. It's yeah.
Got a question from a
Yes.
LinkedIn user, which I think is I tagged him earlier.
Derek?
Okay.
Is it Derek?
I think it might be Derek. I'm not 100%.
Yes, okay. I could speak on it. So this I was really excited about. So to me, Clean Label Project is a lot of baby formulas, it's a really, to me, it's the most important certification a brand could get. So what they did is kind of how it works is, you apply, then they go out and they purchase the product from different stores and they test it for 90 different environmental toxins, microplastic, pesticides, metals. And we're literally the first ever bottled water in the US to pass. So we were the first to receive that Clean Label Project certification, which the first bottled water in the US to do that. So that to me is pretty cool. And it just, it's a really important certification, especially everything that you read about, bottled waters and microplastics and, the use of, pesticides and metals and, now environmental toxins. So to me, it's a very important certification.
How did just for those that are curious about it, how did you first kind of encounter and hear about them? Why did you plant your flag into I got to get this certification?
I was just kind of, you get inundated with, certifications. Like it could get a little crazy when you're launching a brand. You're like, okay, what do I need? Do I need this, and this? And I'm like, okay, we're identified what's the major problem with other bottled waters. What people are scared of microplastics, they're scared of metals, they're scared of certain things. So that's kind of the direction I wanted to go with it.
Mhm.
Was to what's the problem with other companies, and what does chlorophyll water, how could chlorophyll water separate themselves from what is quote unquote a crowded category? It's the water in general is a crowded category, but when we're sitting on the shelf, how do we really be different? And I think having a clean label and having clean label certification, I think consumers are just, they really care about that. They really care about what they're putting into their body. They really care more than ever about, what they're drinking, what they're eating. Very educated.
Yep. So exactly. It's a great answer. And I want to, we're going to get to Kenny's question here, but we'll put a pin in, are you ever going to go to glass? Right. That's something I do want to ask you, but let's go to Kenny's question first. I have a lot of this is from Kenny Hausman from Foodland. He's, again, I'm going to screw up his title because I always do for everyone. I've done it with Wade's. I've done it with basically every single buyer or manager on this show. So I'm going to say that he's a director, VP of purchasing, the director of purchasing, one of those two. I have a lot of conversation from Kenny. I have a lot of conversations with brands, and I'm mindful and honest with brands in every role I've been a part of. The key is to be in the right market and build your business through the value prop that the brand has built, which is the product in and of itself. So I think that's what you've done, right? You've kind of centered around putting your products in the right store. What I love about, and this is something we kind of skimmed over earlier, Matt, is that you're going after like a freaking madman, the yoga studios. I mean, that, like, when I first heard about your product, I'm like, yoga studio, someone, a woman in her 20s, in her 30s, gets out of yoga, goes to the shelf, she sees an ice cold chlorophyll water, and she's going to buy it. It's just, that is part of the target market. And it seems like you are getting a lot of influencer accounts where you may not be, in CVS or Walgreens or all these other big accounts yet. You're in some, but people will find out about your product in these smaller, when I say smaller, they could be independents, they could be yoga studios, they could be regional players. It seems like that is really helping and working to get the word out in smaller accounts. So would you say that yoga studios is like your top velocity, like you said, 20 cases a week, which is mind-boggling?
Yeah, we've got a lot of yoga studios that move about 15, 20 cases a week. They've been
insane.
great.
Insane.
Yeah. It's well, you got to think too, is that when I first launched, I had no idea what I was doing. I'll say it again. So I just heard about, you got to fight for shelf space. You got to fight for shelf. Everyone kept on saying to me, Matt, the business is tough. You got to fight for shelf space. And I'm like, wow, where could I go that there's not much shelf space? Like where? And I was big myself into yoga. That's kind of how I ended up in Tulum, many, many years ago. And I just saw there was a need for a water for the yoga community. And that's kind of, we work with the United Nations on International Yoga Day as well, which is pretty cool. So we, building that foundation. You harped on it. A lot of people that go to yoga, go to Pilates, that live an active, healthy lifestyle, they're influential in their communities. It's a conversation piece. People are they build really strong communities, and having that community behind your brands, is all you could ask for. But it's about being authentic. It's like how you mentioned, you go to our Instagram and you see yoga this, or you see, you see certain things. It's really about being authentic. And I think that, that's kind of what I wanted from the brand. The yoga studios are a big part, but I think what you mentioned too, we're in so many of these, smaller kind of independent influential accounts, that order through Fair, or that are in smaller markets, and whether it's Casper, Wyoming, or Benonsville, Arkansas, or, these really, artistic hubs and communities in states, like we're in the local, health and wellness store. And that was super important to me too. So it's just building that, being authentic, because the people that are shopping in those stores know the owners and the founders of those stores are being mindful and thoughtful in the curation that they're bringing in. So it's just giving the brand a little more foundation within those communities.
Exactly right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Couple more comments we're going to read here. And then, Matt, also something else just to kind of mentally prepare you with, because we didn't say it earlier, but we're going to say it now. Because you're all Chlorophyll Water is our sponsor for this episode. So he's going to be giving away, I don't have it in front of me, but it's going to be a pretty big ass pack of Chlorophyll Water. Is it a 12 pack, 24?
12 pack.
12 pack. All right. So the question we always come up with is something that we mentioned during this episode. Okay. It could be something not even related to your brand. It could be where you started your restaurants. It could be whatever. It could be any random fact. So as we're going through, just start to think about what can we ask the people and our fans and followers on what the question is, and they'll win a 12 pack of your Chlorophyll Water, sponsored by Chlorophyll Water. And it seems like it's like you're the Kleenex, you're like the Xerox, it's not like you have a brand name. It's freaking Chlorophyll Water. That's the brand name. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like, I'm owning the space. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. The brand, our brand name is our category,
Yeah.
where they like, when launching it, I was like, you know what, people are going to call it Chlorophyll Water anyway, so it's like, when you get a Band-Aid, you just get a Band-Aid, so when launching it, I'm like, people are going to call it anyway. And so many people are telling me, you can't call your brand name that, you can't do that. You got to come up with something catchy. People don't know how to spell chlorophyll. Like I've heard it all. So, but you know what? I figured people are going to call it Chlorophyll Water anyway. So we'll stick with it. And, autocorrect if they spell it wrong.
Exactly. As long as they get the first few letters correct, like chloro or something.
Yeah.
They'll find it.
Yeah, exactly.
Some other comments here before we get, I guess, the next non sequitur topic that we'll talk about here. Gavin Conkle, just to comment on proof of concept and potentially in a liter or 1.5 liter of water in a higher retail in a highly specific category. Couple more here. Sean Berg, shout out to you. Julie Castillo, totally agree, Alex. I learned the hard way. And going back to my Publix post. So a couple other questions I have. Getting away, it's BPA free. Genius Juice, we're in plastic. I understand, we all understand the manufacturing challenges of getting to glass, both from a cost standpoint, breakage, having a co-packer that works with glass. There's a lot behind the scenes where when consumers are mad at a brand, for not using glass, like I get emails all the time, why you're not using glass. I have to literally tell them every time why. And sometimes there's a lot of limiting factors. We all want to get to glass, be better for the environment, or aluminum or whatever. Do you have the capability at some point to go to glass, or are you basically kind of this BPA free plastic here on out?
Yeah. No, glass is something that we will do in the future, probably Q1, Q2 of next year.
Oh, it's coming up fast.
Yeah. Glass is something that will be, it's at, obviously, the environment's super important to me. And when we first launched Chlorophyll Water, we were in a landfill biodegradable bottle. The bottle actually biodegraded in 6 years in
That's
landfill
cool.
conditions, but it was during COVID, we had to kind of switch into our new bottle and with clean flake. So glass is something that's always, it's something that I want to do, but at the same time, we are in a lot of gyms. We are in a lot of yoga studios. We just started working with some stadiums. So, there's a lot of places that don't necessarily want glass, but I understand that the consumer wants it. Just, like you said, shipping water and shipping beverages, it's expensive, and sometimes, I understand it now, but the consumer, we live in an Amazon type of day and age where they don't want shipping added. But it adds, it makes the product heavier. It's harder to ship. So it's something that we didn't do in the beginning, but we will be rolling it out for the consumers that don't want plastic.
So Matt, will that be the same size? And talk about from a retail strategy, glass versus, you're in a half liter now, 69.
Yes, 16.9.
Okay, so glass, are you looking at 16 or 20? What are you going to do with glass? And then what will the retail in your mind look like versus your current offering?
We haven't got that far yet, as far as the pricing and as far as, working with co-packer now to, go over sizing, but it's a capability that we've added, that we're going to be adding. We also sell, the chlorophyll water drops in glass. So for the people that, so we have that on our website where we have chlorophyll water drops with vitamin A, B12, C, D, potassium, C trace minerals, and electrolytes that we do sell on our website. So for the people that don't, and on Amazon, so for people that don't want to order, the plastic, they could definitely order the drops and put it in their thermos and make their own ready to drinks.
Yeah,
Nice.
I think it'll be a good move. You probably have to have both. That's the way that I'm looking at it. I know that's not always easy because there's MOQs at co-packers, MOQs for this packaging or that packaging, or ordering packaging from a supplier. But I think you're on the right track where maybe online could be, plastic because it's lighter, it's not going to break. Glass could be more in your sprouts. I'm just off the top of my head here without really knowing your business. But I would say, are you open to doing both? Is that kind of where you need to go with your business model?
Yeah, 100% both. Right now, 100% both. We'll obviously roll it out. We'll see how it goes. I don't think it'll be a large part of the business, to be honest. I think that we're going to focus on, this and grow this, but have it as an offering. But you never know. You never know what'll happen. I mean, what the consumer will dictate, where we move going forward. But but I just know that we're working on it, and it's something that will be done like early next year.
Cool. The other thing too, Wade, I think, in listening to Matt eloquently speak about his background, about his product, about what makes him passionate about chlorophyll water and growing his brand, and then we're talking about social media. I think, these yoga women, they're beautiful women. They go in and out of yoga studios. They're in their day-to-day life. Maybe they're a mom, drinking chlorophyll water. That's good. It's not bad at all. We all like that. But I think a little more New York state of mind in the social media. I'm talking you, Matt, like being on there more, talking about your story and your product. I think you got a really good energy and charisma behind you. Are you like eventually going to be making more posts with you as the centerpiece?
That's a great question. So this is the first. For me, it was important to build the brand. Like the brand's not about Matt. I was at the forefront of my restaurants for so long, and that's kind of the way that you get sucked into it, not by really choice, but as the restaurateur. And it's something for me, the chlorophyll water is a brand of the people, so it's yoga, yoga men, yoga women, yoga, whatever, just anyone that it's not something that I see myself doing in the future. I'm doing it for you, I'm doing it for you because we had a great conversation. That first phone call, I think it was like an hour, our first, just, you're a wealth of wisdom, and I appreciated that. You were just open and you've been great. So for me, again, it's like, I'm doing this more as a, learning. I'm learning just as much as when I'm talking, and that's kind of, or the questions that you ask, I'm literally just writing notes, to some things I was like, what, for me, that's important. So the brand is a brand of the people. I don't see myself doing, being at the forefront or being on social, or, I appreciated the energy. It's a lot of, chlorophyll. I guess it's that,
right.
But yeah, it's something that, people ask me that all the time. And it's something that, I want the brand. I can't be there when the consumer's making the decision on the shelf. I can't like whisper in their ear, hey, buy me, it's so for me, it's important. Like, I don't want to, if I tell people how great my product is, does that have any, will people care? Does that have any validity? I'd rather other people, if you notice on our Instagram, we're doing all these taste testings where we'll give out, chlorophyll water in New York, in Venice Beach, in, Miami Beach, and we're getting people's reactions. To me, that's more important, letting people know, okay, this is what it tastes like. This is how I feel after drinking it. than me telling, hey, I've got a product, so yeah, again, I'm not ruling anything out, but for right now, I'm really happy. And to be honest with you, I didn't Chlorophyll Water didn't follow me on Instagram for like a year. Like I kept it so like, and I didn't follow Chlorophyll Water back for a while because I wanted to build the brand, on its own, and I wanted the brand for the people to build it up. Yeah, so that was a great question though, because I have publicist friends that are like, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do an interview, you got to do, and I'm like, no, I'm just doing one LinkedIn live, and this is I filled my quota.
There you go. Well,
if you're only doing one LinkedIn live, this is probably the one to do, Alex, right?
It's the only one. I mean, there's nothing else out there. That's it. I mean, and if there's, we're honored to have you as, basically you're making your public debut, like your real debut. This is who I am. This is the brand I represent. Here's a story behind it. And I can tell you're a humble guy, super humble dude, stand up. And I'm glad you're here with us to share the story. So thank you. Let's get into our next segment here, which is going to be the stuff we love. And we're totally blindsiding you with this, Matt, because I didn't tell you any. I mean, this is how we do our show. There's no script, just chat. We don't brief you on anything. There was no prep call. We're just like, here's an email, show up at this time. That's how I got Wade to be my co-host. I'm like, just show. He didn't even know. I just said, show up here, click this link. He popped up on the screen. He's like, holy shit, I'm a co-host. So we're going to go into the stuff of what do we love, brands, products, food, beverage, CPG. Wade, let's kick it off.
So it's funny because right before we went live, I was trading some messages with Daniel Schwartz. We talked about this brand a couple weeks ago, right? Obviously not last week because you weren't here last week, or maybe it was last week.
It was Ari. It was
with Ari.
Judah.
But yeah, so when he messaged me, I hadn't tried it yet, but I busted open this mango, and I'm a fan. What I like about this product, aside from, I'm a fan of tahini and Mexican spices in general, but what I like about what I've tried so far, and I've only tried, he sent me a bunch, but what I like so far is the fruit, as opposed to a lot of things in the category are a little harder and more dehydrated. This is more, the texture is different. It's chewy. It's not gonna, I'm trying not to be negative towards other brands. It's very easily chewed up and swallowed, right? It's not, but it's tasty. And I've been enjoying the heck out of this mango. I've almost killed this bag. And he literally checked in to see if I got it. My goodness, I don't know, just a couple hours ago. I'm like, no, I haven't opened yet. And now I'm crushing this thing. So that's who I've got, Alex.
Yeah. All right. Well, so I will do. It looks like I just heard a text message come in. So I'm going to go to, well, you already know that I'm loving the chlorophyll water. Yeah. So that's inherently something that I love and we love here at Friday Vibes. So Gavin sent these wings over. And I know that Renee almost burned your house down last Friday.
True story.
It was so funny because I was listening because I missed the episode last week. I was in the hospital. It was the middle of the night. We had to stay up because the baby was crying, all night. And I decided to watch our episode. And you did a great job, Wade.
Thank you.
Ease and ignition, pedal to the metal. You broke what needed to break. You had all the right speeds going on. You didn't break the speed limit. You weren't on a high-speed pursuit on TV, nothing like that. A lot of car analogies here. But part of that episode, Renee was cooking, this is Wade's wife, was cooking the wings at the very end of the episode, and the smoke alarm went off, and that ended the show last Friday. So
that's the most dramatic one, I think.
Yeah, and I wasn't even here for it. When I step away for a week, Wade and Renee's house almost burns down. That's the effect. So I had nothing to do with it. So this product, it's kind of dripping wet because it's from the freezer. We had our family over yesterday to see the baby and, my in-laws. and we all had this, and we loved this. This was fucking amazing. And I'm a vegan or I'm a vegetarian. It didn't matter, vegetarian, non-vegetarian, eat meat, no meat. This is just really delicious. And what's cool is it comes with a packet of the sauce in it. You thaw out the sauce, you put it on top of the wings, you cook it another 5 minutes. Delicious. So those are the Korean barbecue Blackbird wings. I think launching in Sprouts soon. I think, Wade, is that right?
We have to get Gavin to chime in. I will tell you that prior to Renee almost killing both of us in a fiery blaze, she was complimentary of the sauce, and she said that she really dug the product for sure.
The other one, and I didn't get one, but I got two. Okay, this is the Ari Raz residual Ari Raz show here. He was our guest last week. He was our co-host last week when I was out. But this, Matt, have you had coconut cold yet?
I have not. It looks.
You're gonna fucking love this.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, this is their limited release drop they did online, called Happy Halloween. So it has their yogurt with the Hue bar in it, and it had an entire. You can't, this is finished, but I washed it and it's on my shelf now because it's a limited edition. But they had the yogurt, Matt, with an entire bar lodged into the yogurt.
Wow.
So you just open the jar and then you see a bar. You can pull out the whole bar and eat it if you want. Or I just kind of mashed it up with a spoon.
I gotta also say that I love that you guys are doing this, because when I first, our business, I feel like is so outdated. Like it's such an old way of doing business, and this business is a team sport. So being collaborative with other brands, doing giveaways with other brands. When I'm out selling chlorophyll water on the road, I'm actually out there selling other products too, just so they hit their minimums, just so they hit the distributor minimum. So I love that you guys are doing this, because it's the way that I was hoping this business is. Like my past life, the restaurant business, other restaurant operators, we would all support each other. People come in, you support, you send people over, So I'm happy that you guys are doing this and having me on the show and, showcasing other brands. It's really cool. So I just needed to just throw that in there.
Yeah, I think, Wade, we're really big on community, right? And
absolutely
helping each other. That's what this entire show is about. We're just here as a conduit to spread the love in CPG. That's it.
Right. Absolutely.
So speaking of community, on Sunday afternoon, we weren't feeling good. My wife wasn't feeling, after births, usually women they're very tired, they're dehydrated, they need some good bacteria, good probiotics. I texted Ari and I said, can you please send me some coconut cold to arrive early next week while we're in the hospital, please? And he's like, I'm on it. This is the CEO, right? I texted him on a Sunday, really late in the day. And he was like, I'm on it. I'm going to get you some, because it was sold out everywhere around me. Like they had this huge social media rush, Matt, and they just sold out everywhere. I couldn't find it anywhere.
Wow.
Locally in Southern California. Whole Foods was out, Lazy Acres is out, Bristol Farms is out. Now I think they're restocked. And Ari sent me a jar, overnighted it to us. So we got it on, I think, Monday late afternoon or Tuesday morning. And we went through it within like an hour, this entire 16-ounce jar. So Ari, I love you, brother. Thank you so much for sending that to us. That shows how much of a stand-up guy he is. It's really amazing. So anyway, that's my piece. We took too long on that. Matt, are there any brands that you've come across you're like, man, I love this?
Let me think here. I love what the Vibes guys are doing. I love what, I'm out there. We share a lot of similar, regional DSDs. So I love what they're doing.
Vibes, the CBD water.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta give a shout out to Super Mush. My friend Ali launched Super Mush. Andres Chicky Boom. It's a really cool like a tropical fruit punch water. Love what Andres is doing. Yeah, there's got to be a couple other brands that I'm missing, but I think there's so many cool products out there that I really want to see everyone. grocery stores are big enough for everyone to crush it, and now with Fair and with, different, I gotta give a shout out to Pod Foods as well. What Pod Foods is doing for smaller and emerging brands, to get them out there is great. So, yeah, I kind of just, there's so many great brands out there that I can't even think. To be honest with you, I'm a simple guy. I drink water, eat my fruits, vegetables. That's kind of it. As far as my personal consumption goes.
Nice. All right. So we got the vibes and another one. We got Fair, a couple other mentions there.
Yeah.
So that is the stuff we love. And now we're going to get in. I know we're over time here, so we're going to wrap this up shortly. Our sponsor this week is Chlorophyll Water, and this is Friday Freebies.
Friday Freebies.
And wait, if I'm not mistaken, you also have the power to hit all these buttons, everything, right?
Yeah, I do. I do. I do. I haven't hit any, but I've only hit a couple buttons. But I was just focused on pulling up the plug. Yeah. Do you want me to hit a button?
You know what? If you want to do the honors on doing the outro at the very end, we can start having that partnership thing.
Oh man, now you're putting pressure. I don't have my notes on remember how to. I'll figure it out. But I've got the sponsorship stuff up, and drum roll surprise. Our sponsor is Chlorophyll Water, Matt Levine. So we've already talked about it. He's giving away a case, which is 12 bottles of the Chlorophyll Water that both Matt and Alex have been drinking throughout the show. Chlorophyll Water is the first ever bottled water in the USA to pass and receive the Clean Label Project certification. Plant-powered, purified mountain spring water enhanced with the addition of chlorophyll, a key ingredient and distinct green pigment in plant life. Recognized by the Green Business Bureau as good for the mind, the body, and the planet, chlorophyll water is bottled at the mountain source and then fortified with additional vitamin A, vitamin B12, vitamin C, vitamin D for enhanced nutrition. Available nationwide at Sprouts, also Aloe Yoga, Urban Outfitters, and regionally at retailers like Erewhon, Bristol Farms, Lazy Acres, Whole Foods, and GNC. So we've got 12 bottles of that water. Alex, I had to go to the other screen. Do we have it? Were you holding it up while I was going over it?
I was not.
Oh,
I was fully depending on you.
Here we go.
Okay. I was gonna say I don't have a bottle hold up, but there it is, the green. So hopefully, I don't know. I made Ari ask the question last week. Alex, are we gonna put Matt on the spot?
I think so. I mean, this is pretty customary for Friday Vibes. You can't have diamonds without pressure. Matt's a diamond already. So why don't you come up with a question, something that you mentioned. Now, remember, these individuals, I would say, are fans. They're very, very, very smart and very, their attention to detail is second to none. So it could be really a tough question, something you mentioned once. It's especially harder with a New York accent because you talk faster. So it's going to be hard for people to pick up everything. So why don't you come up with something you said, and that could be the question.
How about they have to guess your baby's name?
The full name.
The full name.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I have not posted his name on LinkedIn yet, so that makes it harder.
I like that.
And now there's a few individuals, I'm going to say this, a few individuals that I texted you his name. Please don't answer.
Gavin.
I'm talking to you, Gavin.
That might be this might be too difficult though.
Nah, it's not.
All right.
They should know. It's a catchy name.
There he goes. There goes Gavin.
So Gavin already knew ahead of time, but he already said it. All right. Well, Kenny got the right spelling.
Right.
So what do you think?
Funny though, I do know someone with the last name Bear spelled that way, by the way.
Yeah, it's kind of like a European, I think, way to spell it. I can tell when someone's from Europe because they pronounce my last name Bayer. Alex Bayer.
I say Bilal.
Yeah. Bilal. Yeah, I think Bilal. I think Gavin already had kind of the inside scoop. So let's give this to Bilal.
Okay.
Let's give it to Bilal. We love you, Gavin, but you had the inside advantage from the start. All right. So, Bilal, you're the proud winner of a 12-pack of chlorophyll water. I mean, when he's hitting up those farmers markets, Wade, he needs something to keep, continue to hydrate him, keep power.
Exactly. Matt, do you know Bilal?
Bilal, I don't know. Where is he based?
Bilal is in Southern California, or I'm sorry, Northern California, near San Fran.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he is Bilani Foods. Bilani
Yes.
Foods.
I believe, yes. Yeah.
Yes. And he is, if you look in the dictionary or encyclopedia or any periodical under good people, they have Bilal's picture right next to it.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
And also, coincidentally, if you look under Hustler, you also see Bilal's picture. And because he's not only good people, but he hustles and he works hard for that money. And so Bilal can use that water, right, Alex?
He can totally use it. I'm gonna one up you, Wade. I don't do it often anymore because I'm afraid to, because usually you're not one uppable. But also, if you look under great food in the dictionary,
Bilani, not Bilal, Bilani.
Bilani.
Yes.
So, Matt, how many farmers markets do you think Bilal does every week?
I don't know. That's a hard. Well, actually, 5, 10.
Add another digit on the 5.
Oh wow, I love it. I'm a big farmers market guy. I go every weekend, so we would definitely get along.
Yep, he does over 50 a week, I think, Wade. From what I
think he's pushing 60. He's pushing 60. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So figure that out.
All right. So make sure to, as always, email FridayVibes100@gmail.com. Friday Vibes and the number 100 at gmail.com to collect your prize. Bilal, I do want to mention, I'm going to take 30 seconds here. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this other opportunity. But if you're in Southern California or even Central Coast or San Diego, we're having a tasting event for Genius Juice. It's for our new innovation wellness shot. It's going to be in SoCal. It's going to be at the Ken Malloy Park in Harbor City, which sounds a little scary. It's not. And that's in basically right near me in Torrance, Redondo Beach area in Southern California. So I'm going to post an invite link on the comments after this ends. We have a limit of about 100 people. You get to try our brand new Genius Wellness Shot, and we'll have free smoothies. We'll have music. We'll have a step and repeat banner. You can get some social media pictures at, and it's on a Saturday. I forgot to mention this. Saturday, November 12th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. For those that are listening to our podcast on November 13th, this will mean nothing to you. But if it's before that, November 12th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., make sure you can meet the Genius team. I'll be there. Our shots will be there. Try a brand new product from us. Give us a survey. Let us know how you like it. So come on by and party like a genius. And Wade, I'd invite you if you're still in San Diego. But
I'm about to be in about 7 weeks. I think is the countdown. I haven't put it on my timer yet, but I think that's when. So
cool. Yeah, it's going to be awesome having you back. We're definitely meeting up.
Definitely.
All right. So everyone, thank you again for joining us on episode 42 of Friday Vibes, No Script, Just Chat. We have a great show next week. I think we just literally scheduled it. We're going to have Yanni. You mentioned Lemon Perfect earlier, Matt. We're going to have Yanni Huffnagel. He moved up his show. He's so excited to be on here. He moved it up by a full 2 weeks. And he'll be on here next week, November 11th. Right here on Friday Vibes, 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5:30 Eastern. Wade, I'm going to let you do the honors for the outro button. Matt, thank you, brother, for joining us and sharing your stories.
Thank you, guys.
I got to find that button. All right. There it is.